Hi everyone, so last Friday you learned how to add mixed numbers, and today you're going to be subtracting mixed numbers. So go ahead and get your notebook out. Title subtracting mixed numbers. So today we're going to be looking at mixed numbers that subtract if you don't have to borrow. Tomorrow we're going to talk about what you do if you do have to borrow. And we're also going to be talking about subtracting mixed numbers on Wednesday. So we're going to spend this week subtracting mixed numbers. And by Thursday, you guys will be pros. So today we're going to do the same 3 steps as we did Friday with adding mixed numbers, but we're going to subtract instead of add. So if you remember those 3 steps were add the fractions, today we're going to subtract the fractions first. And then on Friday we added the whole numbers. Today we're going to subtract the whole numbers. And then finally we're going to put those two differences today instead of sums. We're going to put those two differences together. So we're going to put it all together. Okay. So let's just start right into some examples. Since you guys already know how to subtract fractions and you already know how to subtract whole numbers, we're just putting a couple things together. So we got 2 4/5, and we're going to subtract 1 2/5. All right, so step 1, subtract the fraction. So we got 4/5 minus 2/5. Okay, I made it easy for you because they already have common denominators. So 4 minus 2 is 2, and you keep your denominator, 2/5. Okay, step 1, done. Step 2, subtract the whole numbers. We got 2 minus 1. That equals 1. Wow. It's a tough one. Now, step 3, put it all together. So we got 1, we got 2/5. We're going to put those together. So we're going to have 1 and 2/5. So 2 4/5 minus 1 2/5 equals 1 2/5. All right. We're going to make it a little bit harder for the next example. Example 2, we're not going to have common denominators. We're going to go with 4 4/7. And from that, we're going to take away 2 1/2. All right. First thing, subtract the fractions. So we got to have 4/7 minus 1/2. You got to have common denominators to subtract fractions. So we're going to have to find a common denominator between 7 and 2. So you can think about your multiples of 7, you can think about your multiples of 2. And you should come to the conclusion that 14 is a common denominator, is a common multiple, so it's a common denominator for this. So that means both of our fractions need this denominator, 14. Okay? So 4/7 will equal how many 14ths? Well, 7 times 2 is 14, so we're going to do 4 times 2. That gives us 8 14ths. Then you do 1/2. 1/2 is how many 14ths? Well, 2 times 7 is 14. So we're going to do 1 times 7, that should give us 7. All right, so now we have 8 14ths minus 7 14ths. That gives us 1 14th. Okay, that's not our final answer though. That's just step 1. We did that. Now we need to subtract the whole numbers. So don't forget to go back to those whole numbers. 4 minus 2 will give us 2. Then we're going to put these together. And that's going to give us 2 1/14. final answer. So 4 4/7 minus 2.5 is 2 1/14. Now we always need to go back and check for reasonableness. When you get your answer, you should think, does this make sense? You should use some estimation to figure that out. This is about 4 or 5, and we're going to subtract 2.5. So your answer should be about 2 or 2.5. Right? If you got like 7, you know you didn't subtract 4 minus 2. It's going to be less than 4. Probably a couple less than 4. Maybe around 2, right? So you can go back and check for reasonableness. Does my answer make sense? All right, we're going to do one more example. And that'll be 5 3/4. And we're going to take away 5 1/3. Okay, first step, subtract the fractions. So we're going to do 3/4 minus 1/3. We're going to have to find the common denominator between 4 and 3. Think about the multiples. Don't necessarily have to write them out, but think about them. What would a common multiple be? 12. You know you can do 4 times 3 and get 12. Okay, so we need each of these fractions to become an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 12 so that we can add them. So to get from 4 to 12, we're going to multiply by 3. So that means we're going to multiply the numerator also by 3. 3 times 3 gives us 9. So this one is going to become 9/12. Now we need to know what 1/3 equals when it has a denominator of 12. So we want an equivalent fraction with that denominator. To get from 3 to 12, we multiply by 4. So we're going to multiply the numerator also by 4. 1 times 4 is 4. All right, so now we got 9/12 minus 4/12. 9 minus 4 is 5. You keep your 12. All right, step 1 done. All right, subtract the whole numbers. Well, this time we have 5 minus 5. Well, you guys all know 5 minus 5 is a big old 0. Okay, so we have 0. When we put it all together, we have 0 and 5/12. You can just leave the 0 off. We have 5/12. Okay, which makes sense, right? Check for reasonableness. We're going to have something less than 1 because 5 minus 5 is 0. We got a 0 whole. We're just going to do the fractions, okay, which would give us a fraction. All right, you guys are ready for the practice, so go ahead and do that.